Welcome to the Kirby on Sports podcast YouTube page. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a notification if you want. All of that good stuff. We appreciate your support. Our sponsors: PM Plus Reserve, Shenandoah Primitives, Dr. Dave Leadership Corporation, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, and Barrett Pest and Termite Services. We have a great interview coming your way. We have Deb Whitcas. She is a two-time Emmy-winning TV producer and sports journalist, does a lot of freelance work, has been with the Eagles and the Chargers. We're going to talk about all that stuff, NFL, and so much more with Deb. So let's bring her on. Deb, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. How are you, Kirby?
I'm doing well.
It's Josh, right? Actually,
you know, the thing about that, I'll touch on that for a second. Anytime anybody meets me, they straight up call me by my last name, which I've gone with my whole life. But
right.
The first name's Josh, the last name's Kirby, but it's always Kirby that sticks, which is interesting.
It's catchy. That's why it's different. You need to find your uniqueness in this world. I love Kirby.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You did not come alone. You have those two Emmys right behind you. Those look very fabulous back there. How much do one of those things weigh?
You know what? They're heavy, actually. Yeah, I mean, they're a very good question, by the way. Yeah, wow. I mean, they're a good. I mean, I can use them as weights, to be honest. Like this is probably they're good like dumbbells. This is probably 5 to 7 pounds right now, each of them. Yeah, they're heavier than they look.
That's crazy.
They're not all gold though; they're gold plated, but
wow. So Deb, while we're on the topic of Emmys, what's it like winning an Emmy? That must be a tremendous honor to have the privilege to get nominated and awarded an Emmy for your hard work in the industry.
Absolutely. And I think that's what's so nice about it is you're nominated by your peers. So it's people that, I've been working with since I was 12 who nominate you. And I think that's the most special thing about that, because they know the grind, they know what it takes to produce a good product. And that's, the most exciting part. I mean, it was my dream, since I was a child, to literally just win one. And the fact that I've won two now in my career, it's like, I kind of blew it out of the water, the childhood me, because the adult me wants more, but, so still work every day for that.
Well, that's very cool. Those Emmys look great. So glad you brought this along for the interview. So tell us what's new in the world of Deb. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with you. I know you've covered the Eagles and the Chargers, doing a lot of stuff. Crush House included a digital sports betting show. So tell us a little bit about what you're up to these days.
Actually, I'm working a lot with NFL Alumni SoCal these days. I'm doing, I'm on their on-air reporter for all of their events, as well as their content creation. Actually have a meeting about it today. So I'm excited to, I'm focusing a little bit more. I'm kind of going away from, traditional television and kind of pivoting to more social media, digital, production, which is where I think the industry is going anyway. So I kind of want to go with it. Not against doing traditional TV. Don't get me wrong, but I'll do both. I'll do that. I'll do traditional. I'll do short form. I'll do sports. Just as long as you're doing something, and you're always creating.
It must be interesting being doing that, because the NFL and alumni, they must have a lot of stuff that goes on, a lot of different events I've seen all over the place and at all different times of the year.
Yep. Yeah, no, and it's great. And the guys are great. I love working with NFL alumni. Beasley Reese, he's the CEO. Bart Oates obviously is I believe the president. And James Washington, who runs the SoCal chapter. I mean, he's great. 2-time Super Bowl champion. Always has words of wisdom. For what's going on with the season, as well as I love these guys because they really care about nonprofit and charity work as well. Some of these guys have been out of the league for a while, but always use that platform still to this day to do stuff, do good things for others. which I think is the most important thing.
Absolutely. Just looking over your tremendous resume of stuff you've been doing. You've done the USFL, covering that, and
Hmm.
the XFL before COVID hit, unfortunately, but they're rebooting
Hmm.
here soon. But what was that like, covering the XFL, and then it sort of fell off due to COVID, but it's rebounding? Are you going to
Yes.
try to get back into it as well?
500% trying to get it back into it. I'm trying every avenue to do it. XFL was amazing. It was my first. I started to pivot into sports media and sports reporting around that time, right before COVID hit. So XFL was my, I did some interviews. It's at the Miami Super Bowl at the Players Gifting Suite on the red carpet. That was super fun, and met some interviewed Eddie George, Charles Peanut Tillman, a bunch of different guys, and then got my credentials through. It was Skyboat is a nonprofit website that I work with, and so they got me the credentials for XFL, and it was just really special. It was because I think after Super Bowl, everyone kind of gets a little depressed. At
Uh-huh.
least I do. Like,
Me
there's no more
too.
football. You've been watching football since training camp, and all the excitement kind of dies down, and you're like, what am I going to do with my life? So it was great to have XFL to kind of supplement that. And God, it was just such a great, fun group of people. I was in the press box, and the players were excited to be there. They were either, coming up from college or former NFL that were trying to get back into NFL, and they just played their hearts out. I mean, they left it all on the field. The coaches were excited to be there as well. It was just a great group of people. The fans were excited to have something to watch, and and I think, and I liked the rules. Some of the rules changed from NFL. I like the way that the games were formatted, where you heard some of the play calling, you heard some of the coaches, the interviews right after one of the players did to made a touchdown, or a good play on the field. There were the reporters right there asking about it, and I think it brought the audience to the field, and I loved that so much about XFL. When it ended, I literally cried for 2 weeks. Like, I was unbelievably depressed. And so now I'm excited now that 3.0 is coming. I just actually put my resume in for a producer position there. Hope fingers crossed they call. I sent it in twice. Also, I've put in for media credentials to cover the Vipers. Also, literally just got off the phone with Jen Welcher. She's a friend of mine. So she's the first female coach of the NFL. She's the linebackers coach for the Vipers as well. We were just texting. So I'm hoping to be a part of it, XFL 3.0 in some capacity.
So XFL and USFL, what you covered both.
I did.
What do you see? What were the similarities and what were the differences between those two leagues
You know what?
in your
That's,
mind?
that's a great question. They were very similar, actually. USFL obviously played all of their games in Birmingham. I believe that's changing this year. They're going to do it in two different
Yeah,
stadiums.
I saw something about one other city, but
Hmm.
mainly in the same general area from
Yeah.
what I gathered from
Yes.
what I
Yeah.
saw.
And XFL played in the different cities. So that was a huge difference, because USFL, I was there for an entire weekend. I wish I would have gotten there more. Everybody was super nice. Fox Sports was great. It was just tough for me to get down there, because I live in Los Angeles as well as Philadelphia, and it was tough to, like, I had to go down to Atlanta and then drive. Like, it was a long process to get to the games. But and really there was a huge crowd for the Birmingham games, but then that kind of died down for the other teams. So I think the first season of USFL was definitely about TV and TV ratings, as opposed to XFL was about the TV ratings, but also the fan base. And I think that was the biggest difference, was there wasn't that fan base there, in the stadium. And I think having fans in the stadium definitely makes a difference. So that was the biggest difference that I saw. Trying to think of what else. Some of the rules were different. as far as the actual play on the field. But very similar, the passion was there, from the coaches, from the players. They that was very similar as well to like kind of the XFL and the USFL. Like, again, you had guys coming up from college trying to make NFL, and then you had the guys who were in NFL who were trying to get back in. So that was very similar. So we'll see once both XFL and USFL are back, what kind of happens. So XFL is coming first. They start in February, and I believe USFL is in April. So XFL is going to be wrapping up around the time that USFL is starting. So with maybe a few months, kind of when they're both together. So it'll be an interesting season, and I love that that there's going to be football all of the time. Also, I know kind of a rumor they have. I guess it's a rumor at this point, but I am hearing that arena football is also coming back. So
wow.
Don't know that yet, and again, not confirmed, just a rumor. But we'll see what if that announcement's coming and when that's going to start. It wouldn't start in 2003, I don't think. But but a rumor's starting. So that it's great. Like I love it. There's so much football right now.
Oh, absolutely, I do too. But I know you're a big Philly fan, Deb. But yeah, you spoke on arena football, and I know for a fact that the Washington Valor, the last team to win an AFL championship before they folded. So I have to bring that into the conversation as well.
Of course,
a big DC sports fan I am, but
and your Commanders are killing it. I mean, they're doing great. They've won 6 of their last 7. What's the
correct?
I mean,
6 of their last 7. They have the New York Giants this week.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they defeated Philly at home.
I was there.
Oh,
I was there. Tell
us about that for our listeners.
Oh, okay. No. I'm a diehard Eagles fan. It was tough to be there, but honestly, Commanders played a great game. Heineke and the offense moved the ball down the field. Joey Sly, I mean, amazing. He won, special teams NFC Player of the Week that week. He deserved it. I watched him make every field goal, and yeah, I mean, the Eagles couldn't handle it. McLaurin killed it, and Slay just big play Slay, love him, super talented football player, just couldn't hold him. So
yeah, I mean, in my mind, and I'm not discrediting the Eagles because they're still a pretty good football team.
Oh yeah,
but I feel like the Commanders really gave the blueprint on how to stop this Philadelphia Eagles team for other teams
they absolutely
to try to do that. The Commanders were great stopping the run in that game, and I feel like they applied pressure when needed, and it really helped. And I've said
we did add Sue though, just after that game.
Oh, yeah.
Sue's, I mean, so we tried to fix, sort of, the weak area, and Jordan Davis is coming back as well. So, but yeah, no, I agree with you. I think they showed how to beat the Eagles.
Oh yeah. And what was I gonna say? I've said this numerous times on my own podcast, each and every week, the Kirby on Sports podcast, that it's not really good to go undefeated, because usually, as history shows in the league, you're usually an early playoff exit if you're undefeated. So getting that one loss isn't necessarily a bad thing, I would imagine. It humbles them. It's like, okay, they beat us. There's work that needs to be done. But yet it's for the Commanders fan base, it was great to get that win. But for the Eagles, it hurts absolutely nothing because they won 9 straight, 8 or 9 straight. And that one game impacts the standings a little bit, but they're still in the playoff picture.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, we're still at, number 1 NFC East. And I mean, we'll see what what transpires in the next couple of weeks. You guys play the Giants twice, right?
It's the Giants, then a bye week, then the Giants.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
So, Deb, on the topic of the NFC East last year, the known title of the NFC Least, now it looks like they're back to the NFC Beast. Just
Yep.
in general, what have you seen out of the NFC East in your mind, being that you are a Philly fan? And what really has sparked your attention about what makes the NFC East such a dominant division so far in
Yeah.
this National Football League?
I've been super impressed with the NFC East. This season we just like you exactly, and I actually say that too. I always say we went from the NFC Least to the NFC Beast. It was supposed to be NFC West, and definitely, Broncos aren't performing. Chargers are, iffy. I think, Justin Herbert getting hurt definitely did not help. But no, I mean, NFC East is killing it, and definitely, I think the Commanders Commanders are in fourth right now, but
Last place still.
right, but playing the Giants, we'll
They
see.
can jump the Giants because
Right.
they have the same amount of wins.
Right. So, I mean, everyone's in the playoff race right now, I feel like. So, I've been very impressed with, both offenses and defenses, across the board.
Yeah. I mean, it's great to see that the NFC East does not have that title of
Mhm.
the NFC Least anymore. So it's great to see that. You mentioned the Chargers. I know you've done some work with the Chargers, freelance work. Very shaky. If there's one word I can say about the Chargers, very shaky. The game plan's interesting. I mean, they're a mid-grade team, in my opinion,
Mhm.
making big plays still. DeAndre Carter, a former Commander, by the way,
Mhm.
he's making good plays. Justin Herbert,
Mhm.
but it's just shaky performance, and sometimes they lose those close games that it seems like they should win.
Well, and I think, as I mentioned with Justin Herbert, like him being injured, that definitely has not helped him. I think last week he just got back to 100 grade, passing grade. And I think, Keenan Allen has been out as well. He was injured as well. I believe he was back last week. So I think we're going to start seeing the Chargers kind of pick it up again. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
So what have you seen? Otherwise, have you paid attention to any other teams in the league that have sparked your attention? And just loaded question, sort of to say, do you have like a favorite who could possibly be the front runner for this year's Super Bowl, or a matchup there, something like that? I know that's a loaded question, but I mean,
Yeah, I have an answer. Actually, I've been extremely impressed with the 49ers.
Oh yeah.
Trey leaves, Jimmy's back in, and Christian McCaffrey. I mean, the 49ers. I didn't see it coming, but they're in contention right now for sure. I think it's going to be Bills. I think it's between Bills, 49ers, and Eagles at this point. I mean, in KC, but like it's KC.
Well,
Like, I mean, I hate to say this because I love KC too, but like, no one wants to see KC in the Super Bowl again.
yeah, I could see, but I mean, just making a case for the Vikings, I still feel like
Yeah,
they
that
have a
too.
deep shot too. I mean,
Absolutely, I
looking at
agree.
the Vikings, like, because Dallas beat them, beat the brakes off of
Really
them.
beat
The
them
Vikings
bad.
come back on a short week and
Yep.
beat New England. So
Hmm.
I think they can be looped into the conversation, but it's always the
Absolutely.
narrative, primetime Kirk Cousins, this
He
and
did it
that.
the other day, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's known for not doing well in prime time, but he killed it the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, for sure. But once again, Deb Whitcas, yeah, a lot of great stuff on your resume. Anything you want to share with the podcast YouTube page on what's coming next? Any big pieces of work coming your way? The floor is yours, Deb.
I'm trying to think of what I have coming up. I'm like, what do I have? I have some NFL alumni stuff coming up in January. It's a little slower because of the holidays, I feel like. I'm also covering a heavyweight fight, actually, which will be my first UFC,
Oh,
covering a UFC fight on the 10th. I'm excited about that. I just got a text inviting me to do red carpet for that.
wow.
Just covered the $1 Million Mingle in Arizona for AC Caswell. He is, former Raider. So that was fun. And yeah, I mean, I'm looking for, I'm Pro Bowl looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to Super Bowl. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have coming up in the next couple of weeks.
The past 2 Super Bowls, the home team has won it.
Yep.
Could the Cardinals be there? I don't think so, but it'd be interesting if it went back to back to back home teams, host stadium, and winning the Super Bowl. That's just pretty insane to me.
Yeah, no, and I've been at both of them actually. And I covered both of them. The Bucks winning the Super Bowl against San Fran, or no, it was Bucks and KC, right?
Kansas City.
And that was special because first of all, it was COVID, and it was, I mean, it wasn't like a regular Super Bowl at all. But thank God the Buccaneers were in the Super Bowl because it was the home team and everyone really rallied around them. So that energy was amazing. And yeah, last year, I'm like, who was last year? Why am I blanking?
The Rams and
Rams. That's right.
Yeah, the Rams.
They got I've been at the last
Who'd
5.
they play?
So they're all starting to like mesh together.
Rams and the I forget. It just blanked me. It blanked me.
Right? And I'm like, wait. So funny. We can edit this out.
No, it just blanked me. I forget who the Rams played. I'm so good, and I just
yeah.
This is going on the blooper reel because I forget who the Rams played, but they played somebody out of the AFC, and they won the Bengals. The Bengals. It was the Rams and the Bengals. I remember now.
It was.
That's going on the blooper cut. Deb.
Hysterical, right? We're both like, who, what, when, where, why?
You get that moment where it's like, that I just had one of those massive moments.
We both had it at the same time. That's hysterical. That's how memorable that Super Bowl was. No.
Yeah. Well, we will keep that on the blooper reel for sure. But Deb, a great pleasure to speak with you today. Here on the Kirby on Sports podcast. Appreciate your time, and hopefully we can chop it up again soon.
Yes, thank you for having me. This was super fun.
Once again, the Kirby on Sports podcast YouTube page. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks to our sponsors, PM Plus Reserve, Shenandoah Primitives, Dr. Dave Leadership Corporation, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, and Barrett Pest and Termite Services. Until the next time you see us, create greatness. We say so long and peace out.